I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Today we are fortunate. I always say fortunate because in this business we are fortunate to have a wonderful guest. I have Clint Seckman. Did I say that right?
That's right. Good morning.
Wow. Cool.
You got it.
So Clint's from Parkland Direct in Forest, Virginia. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I even wrote it down.
You pronounced that right too. Good job.
Yeah, but I wrote it down and thinking, even though I wrote it, did I just make a mistake?
No,
early morning.
We're in the woods.
So before we go on, Clint, why don't you just give us a little lowdown on Parkland Direct and what you do and specialize in?
We've been in business for a little over 40 years now. We started out as a commercial printer and kind of a fairly successful mom and pop shop through the 90s and early 2000s. And around in the early 2000s, we made a shift more into direct mail focus. And through those years, we started primarily focusing more on envelope production, litho print and envelope production. And that's our full focus now. We're producing upwards of 7 million envelopes a day. And we try to hone in on higher quality print and embellishments such as specialty coatings, foil, embossings, and what have you for direct mail.
I've been getting, I'm going to tell you what got me and why I signed up for all of your stuff.
Glad you're keeping
First of all, I love this shit.
Good.
Okay. I love it from everybody. Anybody listening, you go on LinkedIn, find my address, send it to me. I'll talk about it if it's great because I need to promote everybody who's doing this. It's really spectacular. But straight off the bat, what got me was somebody put this mailer up on LinkedIn.
Yep.
And I happened to have, wrong arm, but I happened to have a tarpon. Middle fish.
Yeah.
Backward camera. And I'm into fishing. Everyone knows that. But when I saw the tarpon on the envelope, I'm like, okay, I want to know who they are. I want to know what they're doing and what made them think of fish. But so I got it. And when I got it, I got to tell you, like, I was just in a bit of awe in a good way. When I look through all the pieces that you have, one, they're all creative. They're all using different finishes, technique, foil, whatever.
Right.
But all of the information inside is really short and to the point, but accurate. And people that are getting this, if you're not reading it, you're an idiot. If you're not doing something with direct mail, you're an idiot. Because today, this direct mail is the path, right?
Yeah. And that's been, why we started that program, which turned into a monthly thing. Our marketing team, I feel like they do a fantastic job with it. And they every month try to capture some new specialty coating foil feature that can be done with high volume direct mail. And again, everybody's busy. And full disclosure, the first one we wanted to release, it had a lot of information in it. I took it home to my wife. Who has we have 3 kids at home. End of the day, she's exhausted. She goes, Clint, I'm not going to spend time reading all this. You need to condense it. Everybody's busy and got their own thing going. So you got to get right to the point. So that's why, we try to hit just a few items in the brochure and the focus again is the envelope for us, because that's what we do. We love direct mail. We believe in it. And, it's not just us. A lot of our customers are seeing success from it. And we want to bring a little bit more to it in the sense that building brand awareness and trust with direct mail, whether it's a haptic feature. There's one on the way to you now that's got a sandy feel or an embossing specialty stock that it's printed on or a foil or something like that. So glad to hear you say that. And they'll be coming.
Here's a regular envelope I got with a bill. I know it's a bill because it's a window.
Yep.
Right. And I'm like, I don't want to look at that one. And then I get this, and I don't know if it's because I'm a print nut and I love all this stuff, but I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to open up and see what's in there. Look what they did with the cover.
Yeah.
And then by the way, this was also cool, right? Not only that, but I immediately took out my phone and I scanned the QR code and I watched the video of the printing.
Right. Yeah. And there's, thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Again, our team, they put a lot of thought and work into that, whether it's on the front end with the marketing design or the back end in production. And our guys love seeing it too. The people in production, our employees, they love running stuff like that and get excited about it as well. They have fun with it. And that's you mentioned it there, wanting to open it. We're not, transactional certainly has its place. That's not what we do. We want to focus more on the direct mail side, the marketing side. And that's why, we want to make envelopes to get noticed and open, because that's its job to us. But we got to try to find a way to make it affordable too. We are competing against, some other channels that might be less expensive, but direct mail,
those channels are not the same.
Where I see companies that have the most success with it is not the two battling one another. A decade ago, it was email versus direct mail, and you still see some of that. But we try to. That's why we have the QR code, and that's why we do a lot of social media marketing that works too. But we combined all of that with our mail program.
Well, I think what you said was key, because I think it has to be combined, right? I think it's been proven. I know it's been proven that either social media on its own or email or print on its own has some impact, but when you mix the three up together and interchange and interdo and send out, your success rates, your click-through rates, your conversion, everything is higher.
Yep.
Right?
And we've seen that. We actually, we've set up an app to build envelopes that use AR technology, and then also to talk about the features that we have. It's something simple that can be done on the phone. I would imagine there's not a whole lot of envelope companies that have an app, but we see, combining all those channels together gets you the most recognition, and we love testing it out. And so when we're talking to our customers about it, we certainly don't want to, bash email or social media or whatever. It's all great. It's just how you use it, and using all those channels together is what we see.
By the way, it's not all great. And email is brutal. But email is brutal because we get so much of it.
Right. But
like I will tell you, because we talk about the youngins and the kids, or my kids are 25 and 22. They're not big on their email. Like, I send them important shit. Like, Don, get back to me on this.
Yeah.
A day later, it's like, I didn't really look at my email. Like, they're not even interested in. I check my email all the time, just because old school. But imagine that email is now old school.
Yeah, and it's funny how that stuff comes full circle and back around. And you've seen several companies, whether it's been J. Jill, Nordstrom's, LL Bean, that stopped their direct mail
right away.
Yep.
And then they
Yeah.
Right.
And you see it too. I see it when you open your eyes to it. A lot of I don't know if you would call them new hip companies, but I've gotten a lot of direct mail from strictly online distributors, and that says a lot, because again, direct mail is not by any means cheap, but when you look at it as cost per conversion, it's very powerful, and it's really exciting to see, companies like, me personally, you get Yeti catalogs or Filson catalogs, or
I love Yeti catalogs,
and they're just beautifully done, but they're bringing them back, and they're different now. It's not loaded with product. It's usually, photos of somebody out in the wilderness or whatever, fishing, hunting, doing that. And you get through stories, and then finally you'll get to some products about 8 or 9 pages deep. But it just shows that building that brand awareness and trust through print really works well.
Yeah, and lifestyle. So who are your customers?
Financial, banking, credit card. Again, we have several in insurance too, and travel, which has obviously dropped off a little bit.
Well,
but
I would think on travel. I mean, are you guys wetting your lips and shaking your hands? Because I got to think that the travel's coming back in a big way. Not that travel itself is going to be big. I think it will, but in the short term, the marketing and reaching out to all of their potential customers will be huge, because there's going to be a big fight now for people to go to places.
Yeah. So that is an expectation. Time will tell. It certainly hasn't come back full force yet. You do see it some insurance stayed pretty steady through it all, but financials started to come back. And you know, with people starting to, I guess, open their wallets a little bit more, you're starting to see, and getting back out there, you're starting to see a big push to be the first in line to get them to sign up for whatever it may be. So as far as our workload, that has come back, and we're hoping the other sectors will pick up as well, but we'll have to wait and see.
Cool. And how, I mean, COVID's over, well, we're trickling to get through, but so how did you guys manage and survive? With the people good? Did you have to let anybody off? Did you lose anybody? Are you trying to hire? Everybody's in a hiring panic right now because it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can't find people.
Yeah. So we hit a very slow period. We were fortunate not to have any kind of big layoff or anything like that. It was a couple months in there where it just completely, the brakes got slammed on it, which is rare for direct mail. You know, usually those programs are planned months in advance. So you do typically have momentum going into any kind of slowdown. Obviously this was very unique. But it's come back full tilt. We're fortunate to be in an industry too that it's not very densely staffed. I guess that's the best way to put it. Pretty well spread out in production. So we're able to navigate through that pretty well. Obviously, we had to make a lot of adjustments and protocols and put all that in place, which everybody had to do. But be in the sense that it's not like 200 people packed into a small room or something like that. You know, you understand printing and presses and converting equipment. It's usually a couple people on each one, and they're about 120 feet long.
And at two ends.
Yes, exactly. So we were able to, again, to get through that. The biggest issue again was the slowdown, but we were able to survive through it. And like I said, we're back up past where we were before COVID even started. So
good for you.
It's great to see. Yeah. It's exciting
awesome.
time.
Love to hear that. You know, it's good. Do you have any plans for the future?
Well, right before COVID hit, my brother and I were over in Europe. It was actually, we were over there when the announcement was made that the borders were going to start shutting down coming into the US. So we were able to get back without any issues. But the reason we were over there was getting some new converting equipment to increase our envelope output. But we were able to, go ahead and finalize those projects and get the equipment in as we started seeing the work pick back up again. So we're glad we went ahead and pushed through with it. As far as future plans, that kind of were our future plans, and they're, the converting equipment's being installed now.
Cool. What kind of press did you buy?
So we're an all web shop now. The bigger thing we have coming in are envelope converters from W&D. I think Andy Shipley well. We run their 627s, and we got a 202. Which it's a higher speed made mainly for transactional. We got it for direct mail marketing purposes. It's not a changeover machine like we view the 627s, but it helps us get into larger volume envelope production. So that's what we have coming and being installed now.
Wow. Are you selling across the country?
Yeah, not all the way West Coast. Most of our work, it goes Chicago, Minneapolis, down south of Texas and back east. So that's about as far as we reach right now. So Midwest and East is our territory, and being and getting into large volume envelope manufacturing in the last few years, it has spread that out substantially. We used to be like I said, a local commercial printer servicing, the Virginia area into the Maryland, North Carolina was kind of that, but that work, like I said, we've gotten out of completely and focused on, supplying envelopes on a national scale.
Do you have a lot of competition in what you're doing at your level? I don't know the envelope converting business players all that well. So that's why I asked that question, because what you're doing seems pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's a lot. It's certainly very competitive. I don't think there's a lot of players in what we're doing, and most of them I would say are much much larger companies in the sense of employees and facilities that they have. But yeah, it is very competitive, but it's not a huge pool that we typically see ourselves competing with. It's just a handful of players in it.
Oh, good. How many employees do you have?
Right now we're about 95. And that's something that makes us pretty unique. We have as far as the facility and employees, our footprint is pretty small, but we have a unique process that allows a lot of output, which is in the last couple of years allowed us to really expand our reach and our clientele. And then we're seeing a lot of demand and growth in direct mail marketing and wanting to add more features or haptic elements to direct mail to make it more noticeable. And again, that's where we've been pursuing that for years now, and seeing a lot more questions about it, more want for it. It's exciting to see, because that's what we want to do and what we're good at. Yeah, so it's like I said, we have one facility, and then we on the staffing side, you mentioned that earlier with labor shortage and all. We've been feel like in our area, we feel fortunate in the sense that we've been able to stay staffed, and I think a lot of that goes to some rates that we can offer, pay rates, but also we run a unique shift here that people work 3 on and 4 off, and seem to a lot of folks that's an attractive shift where you get 4 days off a week. That's helped us out a lot.
I want that shift.
Yeah, right. It's nice to think that yeah, now it's 12 hours. That's certainly a long day, but again, when somebody can they have 4 days off a week, that's helped. We feel like that's been a big part of helping us stay staffed through this crunch.
I think that's amazing just for people with families. What would be the average envelope order for something like this?
Yeah, it's a great question. We get asked that a lot. So, in envelopes, there's standard sizes from 6x9, and a 10 is probably makes up around 70-80% of our work, just shooting from the hip. We, just a general rule of thumb, we typically focus on runs that are $1 million and up. But if you're getting into standard sizes, we'll do projects that are way lower than that, the 50,000 range. But again, that would be on, a size that we're typically set up on all the time.
Yeah,
anyway.
you're not gonna go change over setup for one guy.
Right.
Number 8 envelope.
Right. That's not our specialty. There's some guys that do that and are great at it, but we try to focus on the larger volume runs.
So Clint, before we wrap this up, anything you want to tell me quickly about like your team, the culture?
We have a great culture here. I know that sounds like a cliche to say. It doesn't. It hasn't always been that way. And it takes a lot of effort from everybody to get a good one, and it's an ongoing project to keep a good one. A lot of the reasoning behind that is that the line of work we're in, print's not seen as a dying industry. The staff here gets very excited on the front end, from our customer service to marketing to the production team in the back, when we're making these envelopes that have the pop and embellishments and that certain look. They really love seeing their craft and what they create, and seeing it, come in their mailbox. Even they bring it into work when it shows up, and there's some pride behind that. And it sounds silly, but making envelopes sexy, so that's what we're trying to do. And there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
By the way, those are sexy envelopes.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's what we want to represent brands beautifully in a creative way. And then, ultimately get the envelope open, and the team here loves doing that every day. And I think that helps go a long way, that it's not, mundane day in and day out things. So, yeah.
Cool. So I just want to tell you, culture is the key to success in any company. There's many a company that I speak to that don't really have a culture. When I had my company, it was all about the culture, because the better the culture, the more excited the people are, the more they feel part of a team. fact is, it's just everyone's just more productive, more caring, and more concerned.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
And kudos to you, because you and your brother are leading it. And I say this every single time in every company, it must come from the top.
Right.
Whatever the message is, if it's not from the top and rolls down and backed up by the top, then there is no message, because it's broken telephone. So on that note, I want to say thank you. It's been truly a pleasure and an honor talking and learning a little bit more about your company. When I'm down your way and I have a chance, I'm going to ring you up, because I love equipment. I love plants and machinery.
Great.
I'd be happy to come by and see you. To everybody else listening, thank you. I appreciate you listening. Please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel, like I just said. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm only at 4 something, feeling a little, I'm not feeling the love, people. Show me some love and subscribe.
It'll come.
I will be back here next week with another interview with another amazing person in the world of print. Thank you for listening. Warren Werbitt, for what they think. I love print.